I'll let you kick off, Matt, and I'll come in like a great white shark.
Perfect. Come in slippery and sliding and fierce.
Good evening, the insiders, audio noughts. Welcome to the land of podcasts. We've got a big one tonight, thanks to my illustrious partners, international social media contacts, and I'll let him introduce that one for you. But in the meantime, I noticed that I've got a very red nose. I just want to warn all surfers out there, don't forget the sunscreen, even if it's a cold day. We know that as a little kid, they say to you, it's not because it's cloudy you don't put on sunscreen. Well, maybe for you guys, mate, in the UK, but down here in the southwest of France with a cold northerly wind blowing, but strong sunshine, my nose turned into Rudolph.
Yeah, I actually fell asleep in my back garden today. And it wasn't hot, it was like 13 degrees and I sunburned. I do have ginger skin. Like I've got ginger genes. So I burn anyway. But yeah, no, it's
That's
a
one
good
of life's that's one of life's great pleasures, Matt, falling asleep in your own backyard.
it was sick. And I got woken up to be telling me lunch was ready as well, which was pretty cool.
Ah,
Um,
even
um,
better.
but actually the sun cream thing, our previous guest, G-Man, he's actually like I've seen him like all winter he's been putting on sunscreen like just to like because especially when you're in the water as well you get like the reflections and stuff and you get wind burn as well and stuff, so yeah
I
you
put
get
I I put it on all winter as well. Like my dermatologist told me I had to.
yeah you have to get a belly to get you some of that like real expensive shit that he's got. That what is
I've
it?
got sunscreen. I just forgot because it was
Yeah,
cold. It's just the cold. It just tricks you.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But other than that, we do have a special guest coming. I will tell you more towards when that's going to drop, just to keep you hanging. But he's a big guest for 100 episodes. Does a 100?
100 episodes. And to celebrate our 100 episode day, we had a Jack John final.
How it
Eh?
should be.
Margaret River.
The world felt right again. I I'm sunburnt and Jack and John were in a final together. That's pretty legit. Um and and the waves were pretty good. So
The waves looked really good. And has Jack not just got one of the strongest mental fortitudes, like games in the game?
yeah, do you know what? It's weird. It's weird because like last year, I thought he was like massively mentally strong, um, but he seemed like really like serious. And I've just noticed this year he seems to just be like smiling heaps more, and
He's
as
a
if he's
father.
yeah, it's like he's realized that actually what he does, like when you put it in comparison to like when he wakes up tomorrow morning, yeah, he's Margaret River champion, right? When he wakes up tomorrow morning, he's still gonna be cleaning a kid's ass. Like,
But he's not going to dig ditches either, is he?
well, no, but yeah,
He's
well,
got to
yeah,
take that
exactly.
check. He's got to take that check to the bank.
So he kind of just looked happy, and I think his surfing looked like it, and he did surf real good. Um, I thought like the final, the right result was there. Um, there was a few judging points through the comp that we'll get into, I guess.
Name one. Name the most glaring one.
I don't know if it's like super glaring, but for me, um, Seth Moniz definitely didn't beat Ethan.
Okay.
Um, like they gave his wave like a whole like point and a half difference to Ethan's best wave, and he got two turns. I didn't see it. I didn't see where they were giving him that score. That's what I mean by I didn't see it. I saw the heat, just didn't see how they were gauging that. Um, but the one thing I don't like about the Margaret River thing is it has that wave where it has that end section where people do like a turn into it and they do that like free fall drop and it's critical and stuff.
Yeah,
But
but that's because you haven't been out in the water there, I don't think, and seen it, and that we're not live.
I do get
Because
it. I do get it. It's like it is critical and but it makes the surfers. What I don't like about it is it puts so much emphasis on making the wave. So like you saw it in the final, saw it in loads of waves. Like the surfers will do like two turns and then they'll pump the whole way to that end section and then like turn into it and do a critical turn. But it's all about making like finishing on your feet. Whereas I kind of wish it wasn't about that. I wish like they could like if you do two massive turns on the outside and then you go for a big air and you don't quite land it, your turns should like maybe they should still get scored, like kind of
uh,
thing.
they would. But it's just kind of that impossible equation. Here's one I wanted to bring up with you, and I didn't really see that in the Seth Ethan heat. By the way, I watched that. I watched the condensed recap. I just think Ethan needed to probably surf a couple more waves, which is his normal problem. I think he would have easily won the heat if he had of. Good on
Hmm.
Seth. One of my mates told me today this afternoon he thought Seth got a bit underjuiced against Jack. I watched that with someone else, which was the guy who said that to me, another one of his friends, and he said, no, no, no. This is both French guys, so they're not, they don't have like any sort of Australian favoritism. And he said, like, the wave was smaller, like Seth's last one, which he probably, like could have gone either way, could have gone an eight or he couldn't have, and he didn't. So Jack
Yeah.
got through. Um, but I've lost myself, Matt. From where I started. That's Alzheimer's for you.
Well,
Uh, but
you were saying how um that Ethan could have served
he
more.
just he just needed more ways. But that's it. I just think Seth kind of fully attacked what he had in front of him, and it didn't look as pretty as Ethan. But that's an impossible That's an
Yeah.
impossible task, honestly.
Again, with all of it, it's like because there was again people were blowing up about Medina and and I think the internet were blowing up more than surfers were. I rewatched the Medina John heat and it's very very close. Basically, it wasn't a robbery either way. Medina could have John's like last score could have easily come under or could have easily come above, and it just came above. Um, and it wasn't a robbery at all. I just think sometimes there's just the beauty of surfing is like that someone is going to see it slightly different to someone else.
I had a good chat with Belly about this the other week, and he said he tends to, like, I think on purpose, be a bit blasé about it to remind you of the fact that he travelled with the tour for 10 years. But he said, look, have you ever seen a winner complain about the judging? Huh?
Mm, yeah,
So, you got everyone else in the competition. There's only one winner. So everyone else at one stage has got a reason to complain about the judging, haven't they?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny. You could complain about the judging in your round one heat, then in round two you could get the rub of the green, and you're not going to be like, oh, well, actually, I think he should have won. You're like, so you'd shoot yourself in the foot. But I thought it was a cool event. I did think it was a good event, even though it like stretched out a bit. I like the Margaret River event. And for me, like standout, Georgie Pitar. Our boy George was sick.
Georgie, oh, Peter, he was
GP.
like fantastic, and what an opportunity to make it the whole way to the semis, and then actually witness in the water, which probably, like when it was happening, maybe felt like a little bit deflating. But I'm sure in the years to come, like he can look back at that and say, "Look, I came against the world's greatest Margaret River surfer in peak form and got to watch it live."
Yeah, I mean, how was that 10?
So that's the other one. Now I'm back to where I wanted to mention to you, but the Alzheimer's got the best of me. Is remember the debacle in Bellsweather, and it wasn't for everyone, but Medina Air, right? So he did an air, kind of didn't really land properly. He landed properly, but he fell on his back and he got up, right? So what did he get? A 6.
Yeah,
So John's turn, right? Which he then finished off with a semi-carve and then a pretty good closeout hit on a 6-foot plus wave.
yeah,
So let's say they only gave him 4 points for the second half of the wave.
yeah,
Yeah? Even
yeah.
though it would have probably been 3 points. What would you have given him, you who just brought this point up, what would you have given him if after that recovery big hit, he just said, bugger it, I don't want to do anything else on this wave, and didn't follow out for anything, but just went straight, come in? Would you give him a 6 or
No,
more?
no, that
You would
turn
have given it
alone,
more.
yeah, that turn alone was 8.5 points.
So there you go. So there you go. And it was like, that was more impressive than
But that's my
Gabby's
point.
air, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that goes to my point though. So John done like he done a big opening snap and then he done that massive, massive layback. So say he does the big layback and then he does another half turn and then on the end section, like you say, that big end section that he hits, he fell. They wouldn't give him a 10 for that wave.
No, but that's because it wouldn't deserve a 10, because 10 means perfection. If you fall, you're not perfect.
So what do they give him if that
Did I
happens?
say perfect when it's perfect? Can I say
Same thing.
perfect?
Same thing. So, written down is the same.
Don't fall, and you're gonna get
But
the. He
yeah,
didn't fall. That's why he got the 10.
was a sick 10. Like it was that turn was absolutely bonkers.
Even though it was a mistake, it's not really a mistake. It's just throwing the kitchen sink at something. It's not.
I think he fully means to lean back and lay on his back though. Like he is
Yeah,
fully.
that's how you recover from that. Kelly
Yeah,
used to do
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Andy used to do that turn, but doing it in a final, no semi-final, like 6 to 8 foot mark it's
But
as impressive. It's as impressive as it gets.
and that was the other thing as well, is because there was a point where I wanted to applaud the judging a bit as well. This is why I found the judging a bit off because in George Pittar's quarterfinal, um, he got a 9.5 for a wave that he got a barrel to like pretty good turn and then fell on the end section and he got a 9.5 for it. And I was like at that point, I was
You
like,
were
that,
happy with that.
yeah, I was like, that's sick judging because the wave was like, if he finished it, it probably was a 10, but they only docked him half a point for falling on the end because the rest of
Pretty
it was
good.
for excellent serving. So I thought that was good.
Pretty
So
good barrel. Take out the world number one. That's got to be good for his confidence going back up to the Changers.
yeah, yeah.
He'd be disappointed if he doesn't come away with at least a quarter final at Snapper, though.
Well, I
Pressure.
think though, I think what I was thinking about is, I reckon he might have funded his whole Challenger Series tour in 2 events.
I said that exact thing today to Terry in the surf shop.
Yeah,
It's an expensive year for these poor guys going around the world,
yeah.
around the world tour.
Semi-final finish and then a round of
What's a
32.
semi-final finish net? Yeah, 20 grand.
I reckon. Well, winner before the cut is 80K, isn't it? Um, so joint third, probably like yeah, I reckon around. I'd guess around 35K.
There you go.
That
He's got 6 Changers, hasn't he?
yes,
That's 6 times 6 grand. Let's say 5 grand. I reckon it's not more than 30. Semi-final, maybe. 5 grand. You got 2 grand for your ticket and 2 grand accommodation. And he's sponsored by Channel Islands, who now will, Brit
yeah,
Merrick was there. They're going to give him full quiver out of that run. You got to think. He's
yeah.
just had an excellent Australian tour. He's not even on tour.
Well, I was going to say as well, Tully Wiley, I know that Tully Wiley kind of let go that round of 32 finish pockets you 10K.
That's pretty good.
That's what he got at Bells. So so in two events, Georgie must have got like around the 40K mark.
Oh yeah, 2 events. He did 2
Yeah, because he
events.
done Bells, didn't he? And he done all right in Bells. So um he's probably pocketed about 40K. So you'd say that his Challenger series, like the travel and the accommodation, everything, and all of the fees of it, is probably covered, which is going to be great for him. So he's going to be going in with less pressure.
Hey, look, I've gone straight to it, bro. I've gone straight to it. Because the internet's a wonderful thing. You've got internet, haven't you? 32K he got for his quarterfinal finish. Semi-final. Sorry.
Semi-final.
For his
Yeah.
semi-final. 32. It doesn't say what he got as a second as he got at Bells, but we can easily scroll down. What did he make at Bells? He got knocked
Well,
out by Ethan in round 3. Is
round of
that a
32.
17th? Is
Yeah.
that a 17th? Okay, so that's 14K.
Yeah.
14 and 32,
46.
47. 47. His years, he's sweet.
Yeah. So so sick on him. Well done, George Pitar. I thought
Gabriella Bryan.
I thought the women were really cool as well. I actually smashed it on my fantasy as well. But yeah, I thought that Gabby surfed really good. And Sawyer Lindblad though, like she had to go deep and she went nuts and made the cut, which was really cool. Good on her.
Lakey Peterson knocked off.
Yeah, didn't see it coming.
Didn't see it coming. Number 11.
And I can't believe Ian Gentile's been that was the one judging call. Ian Gentile got absolutely robbed. Like you
Oh,
watch,
so is he off?
yeah.
He's cut. I didn't
I'm, sh-
realise that.
I'm sure he was on the bubble and got knocked out early, and I think Gentile is gone.
Yeah, you could be right. Ema Kalani, Arnie, Wani, DeVault got past him.
Yeah. But so yeah, Margate was pretty sick.
Yeah, he's out by 1, and Sammy Pupo. First, he knocked his brother off tour,
I
and
know.
then he didn't even make it himself. It just kind of feels like a double itza to the skull, doesn't it?
Yeah. Did am I right in thinking that Tia Hopple is next?
Teahopo, who is next, Matt? It's the 22nd of May, so we've got another month before we can commentate on Teahopo.
Oh, well, final thing on Margs. I have to give the performance of the event has to go to Kaipo Guerrera because
Got the
he got
name
a
right.
chance, yeah, he got a chance to redeem himself and actually got the name right. And I thought Jack Robinson calling him out on that was amazing as well, to be fair.
Did he?
But yeah,
Did he
yeah,
call him out on the ski? I didn't see
yeah.
it.
But if anyone wants to see something actually really cool as well, Jacob Zichelli, aka Zeke, but not Zeke Lau, he done a behind the scenes vlog of like the event, and it's actually really good. Like,
Okay, I saw that on the algorithm on YouTube, and I wasn't going to push on it because I just thought he came off as a bit of a Wayne Kerr
honestly, it's good. Like
during that swell run in California. But it's funny.
he shows videos like Matt McGilvery was out the night before the event in a pub, like with birds surrounding him and stuff like. And then he rocks up to his heat and Zeke's there and he's like, "How was your night last night?" And Matt McGilvery looks all a bit sheepish and um they like yeah, it's a pretty cool like you get to see a bit more behind the scenes and stuff. It's quite funny. Watch it with a pinch of salt maybe, but it was quite good.
I like Taj in the commentary booth.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and that other guy, I don't know his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name. His name's Matt. Matt like Volkanovski or something.
Chink, it's with a C.
Yeah.
Waxhead, they were calling
Yeah,
him, but it's
Waxhead,
actually
yeah.
Matt. He's a incredibly good longboarder, that guy,
Yeah,
and charger.
and sick. Like he was given like sick board knowledge and stuff. Like I thought he was really good. And I like Stace on the glass. I think Stace is a real good like question asker.
He's on the glass, is he? That's kind of code talk for crack. So be careful saying that.
Well, yeah, he might be on that. I mean, on the mic, on the interviewing mic. Um, yeah,
Okay, so with that incredible competition final day, which we were pretty stoked on, recap in the bag, Matty. Tell us who we've got coming on.
yeah. So special guest for 100th ep. Someone I've been trying to get since about our 10th ep is Mckenzie Bowden, um, of internet skip fame, surf surf sick, like one of my favorite styles of surfing. Um, he's really cool. I think this chat's really sick because
Is
it's a
that
bit.
AKA Mr. Thank You, please? Is that it?
Yes, that's him. Uh, on Instagram. Um, he will make you laugh. Like, check out his Instagram stuff. It's hilarious. Like, and if you can't laugh at it, then you're probably taking yourself a bit too seriously. Um, but yeah, we have a chat with Mckenzie. We chat his recent trip to Cold Waters. We chat boards as we always do, um, wetsuits, and I really enjoy your questioning of him on this. Actually, I think it's sick. Like the questions you ask him. So
I'm good at questions, Matt. What was I going to say? He obviously first came to prominence for me anyway, and I'm pretty sure it would have been for the majority of people. He did a little video skit for I think was it Stab or was it Quicksilver at Duranbar Beach about being a kind of a crusty local.
yeah, he done like different types of surfers, didn't he? And yeah,
which was
um,
which was pretty good. And then I noticed, I don't know if that was coincided with, but he got picked up with Quicksilver, and I was watching him a little bit. I try not to follow surfers. I've probably told you that before, just from the old FOMO. Like I'm a bit guilty of FOMO, so I try not to follow surfers so you don't see it. But I did see, and at the time I was like, geez, that's pretty popular. He was like 80,000 followers or something like that. And then I just looked not long ago because you told me you thought he was coming on, and he's up over 200. So that's a massive audience
yeah,
growth.
yeah, and yeah, and then obviously since probably since then, he's been locked down with album because he was surfing like some Axos boards and stuff like that. So album locked him down, which I thought was great fit for the brand and for him. And now he's on Rourke, which is sick. We spoke about trips on that, and yeah, he's now. Well, you'll hear us chat to him for more details. But so yeah, this is us talking to Mckenzie Bowden, bringing you 100th episode special guest. And
Check us out on Instagram, the insiders, as well, before you check out Mr. Thank You Please, and then obviously check him out. He's got a good one, Matt, for any guy. I saw it tonight. I wanted to do a bit of research before the episode. Any guy who's ever had a girlfriend and gone to the beach with
yes, I
them,
said
and he's
definitely.
just says to her, "Look, I can just go out for a quick one." I'm telling you, it reminded me of this day in Hossegor. I'm telling you, 1999 or whatever it was, and my missus didn't even want to go to the beach with me. She just wanted to go to Hossegor Main Beach. And I was like, oh, you never come with me to the beach. And forced her to come up to Bourdain's. And we rode bikes up there. Like, it's 5K. And
Yeah,
we got, I just thought it was a normal day. We got up there, it was 4 foot glassy and pumping. And I was like, I'll just be back in a minute. I'll tell you, I wore that one on the chin for over a year.
yeah, yeah. You had to do some hard yards to. Yeah,
Wow, what do you do?
I've been
Do you
the.
come in?
He's also got one where he does it. I think he's on the same sketch where he's like, where they say like they planned a family weekend, and he's like, "Yeah, but I'm going surfing." Like, I've had to eat a few of those on the head.
We've
They're
been
always
there, and
worth it.
we've been there. He's putting it on the gram, so at least it's very relatable.
Yeah. But yeah. So everyone enjoy. This is me and Darren talking to Mckenzie Bowden. Just to interrupt the episode here, don't forget Simple Wetsuits, the best in the game. If you need more information on them, drop us a DM to our Instagram, and even if you want a discount code, ask us nicely and we'll give you one. Back to it. Yeah, we'll just kick off. So you're back fresh from a pretty cool looking trip.
Yeah,
Where
that
was that?
was. We fresh out of the Arctic Circle, and yeah, northern Norway there, which was a complete trip. Froze my ass off, and yeah, just got pretty outlandish with it. It was awesome.
Yeah. And was with the Rock crew?
With the raw crew, yeah. All
What
with Harrison, Nate Zola, lovely lady from Chile, Catalina. They had on the program, and yeah, a bunch of the raw crew. That was awesome.
Hey, what does outlandish with it mean?
Just kind of outlandish, I'd say, is out there, out there, literally on the edge. It felt like of the earth, and then just open wide space, and then also just the freezing climate and changes of emotions that happen out there in the freezing cold.
Not
Um,
high percentage alcohol.
oh, to a moderate tone to finish off the day for sure. Need a few beverages to relax into the evening after a celebration of making it through a day out there.
Yeah, to get the feeling back in your fingers and your toes.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it was a next level feeling for me because I mean, being from New Zealand, it gets pretty chilly down there, but then south of Australia, spent a bunch of time, but also that's just another level of cold up there, It's like 7 mil gloves and booties, and it's 6'4" wetsuit, and I'm just out there still freezing.
Yeah.
Okay, well you were cold when you were surfing then still.
There was yeah, like if I'm not moving, and it was amazing to see how much of a difference between temperature it freezes you up, because there was days where it was like -7, and then it got up to like below zero, and it was just the below zero days were fine, and it was warm and it was all good, but then changing it out of the wetsuit and around the fire was obviously difficult. But it's just yeah, still cold for me too. You get used to it, but this crazy ass fellas that live there are just maniacs, and I think they just eat that up.
I
Yeah.
don't know if they eat it up, but they manage. It's fucking. I don't know how they do it.
Honestly, yeah.
Were the waves good?
We got some surprisingly good waves. Yeah. We It was a bit of a shock actually to me, because I thought it was not going to be as awesome as a setup. Really, I didn't really have much expectations, but coming with a few days coming into it, it was looking like we were going to get swell. But then the first few days were just, I could see all the setups, but it just didn't. I wasn't seeing how the swell could really come in. And yeah, we ended up scoring some really cool waves along this peninsula, so that just made the whole trip. It's funny because it's like we did a whole project out there, and Harrison was documenting and pretty much interviewing us full time, so we're all in this vulnerable state, and it's kind of, I'm almost like still coming through the aftermath of what we got up to and went through, because it was just also full on but also amazing and such a quest. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was coming back from those trips, you're like reflecting constantly, going, oh wow, that was awesome.
How different does that feel to, like, because obviously you were on quick and
Yep.
made the switch to. How different was it a vibe of like the characters and almost like the setup of like the two brands
Yeah, uh it's a funny one because I think during that exchange when I've sort of turned the page over to join the guys, join Rourke, I'd seen a lot of their projects and um, seen what the guys get up to and how just everything that aligns with the brand just kind of suits the way I want to live my life, I guess.
Yeah,
So I guess coming into it, I knew that I was just in for a big old source of adventure. And speaking to Harrison a bit and a few of the other boys that are already a part of the team, like Nate and yeah, Ivor, they were just telling me all these stories about how it gets pretty full on sometimes. And I was all ready for that. Like when I signed up, I was like, oh, get me in the thick of these trips. Um, and then with Quick, it was just an amazing stepping stone into kind of diving into that real surf industry kind of core industry, I guess.
yeah,
Seeing the ins and outs of it and then connecting with all the people that were involved with Quicksilver and all these iconic faces. And it was awesome to see that side of the whole I guess history too of Quicksilver, the foundation of like all the people that have been a part of it. It was just really awesome 2 years and exciting for me too, because as a kid it was like you see Quicksilver stickers, you see Kelly Slater, you see all the greats, Tom
yeah,
Carroll and all everything. It's like it was kind of just like, wow, this is a bit of a dream when they picked me up. And
yeah,
then yeah, I guess it was just a bit more core sort of surf. And you'd go on a trip and it was just a strike mission specifically to really just chase waves.
mm,
Or I mean, during the time it's funny, I wasn't even really doing too many strike missions because it was during COVID time, so it was just like little strike missions around living in Australia at the time. But it was a lot more, yeah, core based surfing, and then you do like a shoot that would be a catalog shoot or something, or like for all the marketing and whatnot. And then on these road trips, it's like we're doing all of that plus creating films out of it and something that's a bit more intriguing to folk that may not also be completely core surf.
yeah,
Consist of tapping into the surroundings of the area around whatever it may be, and then bring one surfboard along and you eat like some dodgy food on the side road, and then you're off
yeah.
on the next little adventure. So it's not as core surf based, but it's
It's almost
yeah.
not as core surf based, but more core as a trip. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for
Do you
sure.
do you think that aligns a bit more with like the album brand as well? Whereas because album obviously like you and Victor
Yeah,
done the Ciclo edit in Mexico last year um
yeah. Cheers.
and like some of the stuff that Asher does and all that.
Yeah,
I feel like some of the album content isn't always just go and
yeah,
score high performance waves.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, even being with the album crew, it's like it's just refreshing and nice because I guess spending a lot of time around the Gold Coast area and you're around like the hi-fi mecca, of just like get it done, smashes the beach, and you're not ripping unless you're just three turning it and just
Yeah.
like getting out there and just smashing it.
Yeah, being
And there's
angry.
just a whole bunch of hungry maniacs, yeah. And then sliding into that album realm, it was like, yeah, hanging out with guys like Asher and Victor and Margot and all the lads, and just opening up to there's more to surfing than just aggressive trying to get it done. It's like the moments in between are the special times, and you can have fun in any sort of board, but still like engage and scratch the itch and rip. Um,
Hey, Mackenzie,
yeah,
it's kind of super interesting, like how you switched over from Quicksilver to Rhythm. I've known Quicksilver for many years as well, and now seems
yeah.
to probably be actually a really good time to potentially leave Quicksilver. Did you look for
Mm.
that actively with an agent or something, or did they approach you?
Yeah, switching over to uh Rourke during that time was pretty much it was they reached out to me originally. Just yeah, no, they reached out. I heard through the boys at Album actually reached out to Matt Parker and then filtered down to me, and then yeah, it was a bit of a time and a moment where I was kind of viewing like where I want to go, with my career and within the surfing industry and whatnot. And they approached at a perfect time where there was obviously a bunch of changes going on within the industry of all the brands and whatnot. So I had a few talks with the crew that I was close with within Quicksilver, and it was just all open, nice discussions about where we could head and what could happen. And they honestly were not really in a position to be able to foresee what the future was, So I was like, I've got this opportunity, and they were just stoked that I could take something like this, And the guys at Rourke were just like, awesome, we'll have you.
Yeah, probably made someone's life a lot easier because obviously, like
Mm,
a lot of people got offered to re-sign, but on from rumors, obviously you hear that people get offered like half the
yeah,
wage they were on, or like a 1 year deal, which
yeah,
is probably a horrible conversation to have with someone that you've been working with. So you
for sure.
you might have just made someone's life heaps easier by just being you'd be like, oh, I've got this offer, and they'd be like, yeah, sick, take it.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, that's
So
the thing.
so
I guess it was, yeah.
so they're like privately owned. Is it a California? It's a Californian brand, correct?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yep. Privately owned California brand. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the whole gist. And they're just I guess growing and growing, and yeah, they've got a bunch of new changes and however it works in that sort of realm. But it's nice to be a part of like a growing company that are also small in the sense of that you can go into the office and it's like everyone's kind of slapping up and your friends, and there's like a good sense of drive and vision and creativity in the atmosphere.
Are you like from what I just saw? Like I've watched Raw. They got some hell films. Like I saw Harrison's a couple of times. I'm from
Yeah.
Sunshine Coast as
Oh,
well,
awesome.
so I was like following him for a long time too. And
He's
I
classic.
wouldn't use the word anomaly, but they don't
Hmm.
really like. You're more known. Like your surfing career's kind of kicked off, apart
Hmm.
from obviously your talent via social media, as opposed
Yeah,
to as opposed to competition. Is
for
that
sure.
something that they said to you that they wanted to add to their roster, or is that something you kind of when you were talking and said, "Look, I can add this to your like
Yeah,
catalog"?
for sure, for sure. I think that was I think just on both ends it was almost like it's a non-spoken thing, but I guess they were, yeah, looking for someone that isn't kind of, I don't know, shy of the camera,
Yeah.
indulgent and narcissist. No, no, no. But yeah, I think also not scared of going on a wild trip and throwing yourself in the deep end, and also being able to, I guess, express these quests online at the best I can, because I've taken advantage of being able to publicly put myself out there, which is also scary at most times and nerving. And deep down, I'm just a scared little boy. But I think that was definitely a part on their end. And then yeah, what I brought to the table was like, hey, I'm really keen to dive in, and then let's all do it together. Just yeah, just stoked to kind of work and collaborate it all.
Hey,
Yeah.
so when you're on a sorry, Matt, when you're on a team trip like that up in no man's land,
Mm.
did you collect some personal content for yourself while you're up there?
There's times where, well, that's the funny thing. It's I have all these ideas and they're just like flooding in my brain, and then it gets to the point of where like I may or may not do it, or it'll just happen randomly. And most of the time it just consists of dancing and preferably, minimal clothing. But it's that's the only thing I captured was pretty much just dancing in the snow. And it's funny because I have all these ideas, and then I also need to like surrender to the fact that we're on this, quest into
Team
the
trip.
unknown, and yeah, team trip, and it's not all about trying to whip the phone out and film my stuff. It's like here for a different purpose of learning, about the area and like the culture, and then trying different foods, and then also with hunting waves. So it's quite intense. So whenever I can whip out and have this little idea and a skip, I'll read the room and read the occasion and be like, yeah, we'll do that. But pretty much it just was, yeah, when all else fails and I don't come up with a concept and we can't do it how I want to, I'll just oil up the knees and just get dancing because that always brings the vibe up, No,
Solid,
no,
solid
no matter
advice.
what. Yeah.
Have you had any sort of professional dance training? No, this is a
Just
serious. This is a serious question. I've seen your knee jiggles.
yeah, as godly awful, but also probably somewhat pleasing. Sometimes it is. No, it's all our natural, mate. It just comes straight from the inner bones, from the bone marrow out into the cosmos. Um,
I've got a young friend who's in Europe he's from Brisbane. Like,
yep.
this is the son of one of my best friends, and he's in a ballet school in Dresden, just south of Berlin.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What a weapon.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I asked. You never know. You never know.
That's the place to be able to get any sort of movement in your body. I tell you what, from doing ballet to the deathly streets of the Berlin clubs, you can do it in any sort of shape or form. So I was living there for about the month, and I definitely got the hips moving and swiveling.
Your girlfriend's German, correct?
Yep. Yes, she is. Yeah,
And
from Köln.
I work for a German company, so
Ah, there you go. You know how
yeah,
efficient it can all be.
I know how efficient they are. I saw one of them, which was really good. That it was nice, but it wasn't built right. That's exactly them. So, but she's obviously happy to stay in Australia. You're not looking to move over here straight away, are you?
No, he's here.
No, I don't think
Well,
you.
I'm currently, yeah, so we're in Portugal right now.
Okay, that's why we're
Yeah,
on the right time schedule, which is
yeah,
now I
yep.
understand.
So yeah,
That
because
was
where are you at the moment?
I'm in hospital.
Ah, yeah, so I'm just down the road, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. What part of Portugal?
Just out of Lisbon
Okay,
in Estoril. Estoril.
that's the real.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just north of Guincho.
Yeah. Surfed
hmm,
that the other day. Pretty good actually.
It's a sick beach.
Oh,
that was
it's beautiful.
actually a question I had. Is obviously like
Yeah.
your internet persona is like hilarious and funny and kind of not too serious and stuff. But knowing that like you've come over, and like
Hmm.
your girlfriend's German and you're obviously from New Zealand and now you're both living
Yep.
in a foreign country. It's like
Mm.
a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like we've chatted a bit, obviously, like not on a podcast and stuff. And I was I remember coming off the chat and being like, shit, his head's real screwed on.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
But also like I've run like social media for like companies and stuff, like especially in the surf industry for like a good amount of years now. And
Hmm.
you always get like the people who are like, oh, you're on social media, like that must be easy and stuff. So I wanted to ask you, like, with all of your skits and stuff, you say that ideas come to your head.
Hmm.
Like, do you find it hard to like produce that content as constantly as you do?
Yeah, I swear, like I've just been in that head cycle for the last couple of weeks, actually. It's funny you say that because yeah, generally it's like where it all started was just joking around with my friends and my brother and making little fun skits and dancing on the job site originally. And then like I guess it's kind of it starts turning into a thing, and then like you
Yeah.
grab some, gets gravitation, and then it tends to certain people, it tends to certain other people, you get in trouble or you don't, but then you got to worry about like this persona online, and then it's like, oh my god, is this me? Like, what am I? What is life? Like, what am I doing? Not attaching to it. It's like I don't give a shit, but like hopefully I can make someone laugh, which is the main objective of it all, and then blending it into using it as a place where you can kind of, I guess, share your talents in a way has been the way I've kind of tried to use it. But then the kind of struggle of constantly putting content out there, I think I get overloaded with ideas in my mind, and I'll write something down in my note. It'll be like, I don't know, walks down the park and trips, and then donkey yells or something, and I've written it down so like, yep, this is gonna hit, this is it. And then I look at it, I'm like, what was I even writing about? Like, what? Like, I just gotta write it all there and like do it on the spot. So I write these things down, or even if it's an idea, and I'm like, oh, I cannot be bothered doing that now. Like, I'll set. So a little bit of a schedule has been put in place, but like, yeah, it's funny. It's like I go through waves. It's like, oh, do I want to be that guy?
Yeah. And then
And then
so,
it's like, I'll do it. It's getting old now, and then it's like, oh, actually, this could be good. And
yeah,
the
yeah.
constant head's good.
So have you so then like it goes on to that, because then this is where my brain goes with it, because it doesn't go down a normal path.
Mm.
Is then was like, so your girlfriend's German. Obviously, I'm assuming she's got
Mhm.
German parents. And
Yeah,
have you met them? And if so, have they
yeah,
asked what do you do for a job, and how do you
yeah.
explain that?
That's exactly what's happened, and like the perfect, yeah, that whole
Yeah.
formatted way. Um, yeah, I think they still kind of look at me and go like, "What? How do you make money? But you can do that." Like even all of Isabel's friends, it's like I even struggle to tell people. They're like, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just in marketing." But it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, or I just say, oh, "I'll just raise the vibration of humanity" when I'm feeling cheeky. No, and that's just
Even-
and then they look at me like, "What?" No, but it's funny, with the parents and general, I guess, German philosophy. It's like they are very intrigued and also don't really understand it at all. But then they're like, "Oh wow, cool," and they're very accepting, and it's like awesome.
Yeah,
It's a
they
funny
have
one.
they have obviously, it's Europe. They have social media, but
Yeah,
I don't think they have the per capita amount of talent that you would see on the Gold Coast, for example, which I don't think
yeah,
anywhere else in Australia would. Maybe
yeah.
Sydney and Melbourne would produce the amount of
Yeah.
young people that are able to use this tool
True.
as a professional weapon. Hey, so is it?
For sure,
Did,
exactly.
you've doubled
It's
your
a niche.
audience, haven't you, in the last year at
Yeah,
least?
yeah, yeah. Oh, got a little charging mishap. Yeah, definitely. Just significantly in the last year or so, which is aligned with pretty much majority of Germany. I'm just doing
Okay,
German skits,
okay.
and it's getting a bit old now. It's like I looked, I never really look, and I was asked if I could show my like, analytics, or I don't even know what it was at the time. And I had a little look on the insights, and I was like, wow, you can see like where your following is. And it was like more, yeah, I think most of my following was from like German followers and in Berlin. I was like, oh, and then it was Oz, and then it was US. I was like, oh shit, probably slow up on that.
Yeah, start taking the piss out of other people.
The,
Yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
I've got a friend here who's a real estate agent, and he's intensely into like originally it was photography at night, like on streets where there's rain, and he'd put on
Cool.
the like green and black filters, and then he
Ah,
switched to video where it's like 10 seconds, and he was explaining to me, I think he's got like 50,000 followers or something like that. And he
mm-hmm.
only does it as a hobby. This is
Yeah.
just like a hobby. But he went to San Francisco and he did one, I think it was on the Golden Gate Bridge in the night and everything. And it got like 1.2 million um, views. And
Well,
he was saying it was all about like, it's like if you've got a sledgehammer and you're smashing against the wall,
Mm-hmm.
You just keep doing it, and then boom,
Yeah.
he said when it breaks through, obviously that's when you get the vertical peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a funny one like that, and then it can also be extremely frustrating. And it is like persistence and persistence, and then like something will do terribly, and you're like, "Oh, I'm a failure," you know. And then you question your whole life, and then you just go, "Oh my god, I'm gonna delete this application." But yeah, and also that's awesome that he has that as a hobby because originally it just starts off as a hobby, and then maybe it gets a bit more serious, and then
Mm.
your authenticity kind of not authenticity, but your authentic, like vibe may leave. But yeah, and that is also the annoying thing. Like you put so much effort into something, and then it'll just go wow. Like a surf flip that I've just like traveled around the world for and tried to put a whole lot of effort into and spend a lot of money on and whatnot will just be like wow. And then I'll pull a face and like put a little shit title on there and it'll be like a 15-second video of me making a weird noise and then it's like ding dong and you're like, oh, should I just suffer through it and just continue to do dumb videos and hit the algo?
Talking,
It's
Cheap
like, nah.
television, we used to call that.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. And I don't know, it's even more intense these days, I guess.
So do you use surfing then like as a barometer for yourself where you can say, look, I'm doing this because I love surfing, and then
Yeah.
obviously from what I've seen, your level isn't dropping.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
So,
that.
because you're being able to use this to be able to keep surfing good waves, correct?
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. That was my whole initiative at the start was to basically use it as a way for me to be able to travel around the world and surf, because that's all I really cared about. And sometimes, most of the time, I care about go to these corners of the earth or like go to these waves that I want to, ride. And still so many. And then I was just like, oh, this could be like a little way of doing it. So it's definitely, yeah, it's funny. That's been the balance
So
of it all.
with this poddy and stuff, like this started because me and Darren are like, well, we're just like surf geeks, but major like
Epic.
board freaks most of the time and stuff. So I
Yeah.
wanted to talk to you about your boards because you're obviously on albums. Was firstly was album your first like dive into ASIMs?
Hold on, I'm getting something. I need to try and put this.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there we go. Got you.
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. So,
sorry. Repeat that
what,
question.
yeah, what was album? Firstly, was album your first like dive into ASIMs?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my first time trying and surfing ASIMs. Yeah.
And then with the boards, how much involvement do you have? Like, and then how much involvement do you put? Because I've got a couple of boards from album from Matt,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've got four, and the four I ordered every single time, like individually. What I kind of explained to him what I wanted the board to work for, my height
Yeah.
and weight, kind of my level,
Mm-hmm.
and then said, "Tell me, like, you go and tell me what dims it should be, what board it should be," and that,
Yeah.
and he's not every time. It's been amazing. How
Awesome.
involved are you in that? Because obviously they've got a lot of board models and
Yeah.
variations.
I'm pretty much just the same as you. I
Okay.
just go, I just go like, I'm kind of coming to a point where you're always still trying to figure it out. But definitely at a point where I'm like, okay, how can we try and make something that might mold into what I can input into a shape, or like I've just pretty much on all sort of previous shapes and the boards that Matt's made for me have just been, oh, I really like the feel on this certain type of wave, or I like that twin spin. Can we pull it in and make it longer? I'm going to be in some deep, heavy water waves over here in Portugal, whatever. And it's always seemed to just have a little bit of magic in it. And for me, it's always just like, oh, okay, well, how would we even try to make that better? Or like, what would we do? I'm
Your
almost like.
your volume's just dropped off a bit there, mate.
Oh, how's that?
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my pinky must have been covering it.
that's a
Yeah.
good.
Hey,
So
so what's your longest board then you got there at the moment in your quiver?
um, I actually reached out to Matt to shape a single fin to take over to Hawaii last month. Spent about a month there with all the album crew filming, um, which was awesome. That was nice to spend like a solid month. But it's a 7/8 single
Okay.
fin shape, and I tell you what, I don't think I was those guys back in the day, like 60s, 70s, were freaking incredible to be able to surf those things. I'm just like couldn't do it.
How much like appreciation?
Oh, it was a massive appreciation. I was just watching videos of Jerry and just like photos of him just like start steezing out, and I was like, oh, I almost feel bad. Like I want to try to do this justice and like, you know, commend this amazing person. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it looks. I think we got some footage on it, and I haven't really seen much of it. It's just basically me going straight. So,
Well,
that's all I
what
can
about
do.
what about your mid-length guns then? Have you got something between 6.4 and 7.0 that you ride?
I've got. It's funny you say that. Actually, I was here sitting thinking, oh, I really need like a nice mid length. I don't have one in the quiver at the moment. I've my longest board's about a 6'4" Twinsman.
Mm.
Yeah, pretty filled out though, like just long and straight. And been riding that out the points here, and it just feels like this nice filled out volume, sort of long rail feel. Um, yeah, I'd actually like to tap into the to the mid length realm a little bit more. I think that might be next on the agenda actually.
So you're in like a 4.3 at the moment there, aren't you? With no booties.
3-2.
3.2 already. Okay.
Yeah, I've been 3-2 all winter. Um, yeah, ironically, just because I don't know if it's just the Japanese neoprene on these feral weddies that just sorted me out really nicely and the little hood. But I've just been rocking the 3-2 and I've been fine.
With an integrated hood or a hood that you put on?
Yeah, integrated. Yeah,
Okay. Even like an early morning surf.
yeah. Oh, I mean, far out. I'm a bit of a
He's,
not much of an
he's,
early
he's
morning surfer.
Portuguese now, Daz.
That's like early before midday.
I've tapped in. Oh, not even. I've tapped into the Portuguese lifestyle pretty well, and so no. Like if I know it's gonna be on, like really pumping, I'll get up and just be sort of doing the sunrise wake up call. But it's a little bit rare on my end to be rise and shine and be that guy that's just freaking done his taxes and said hello to his mom and freaking sorted his whole life out before 6 o'clock in the morning and wants to tell you about it.
Well, fuck, it's a big question, but how did you end up there in Portugal? Is it to be back here closer to your girlfriend's parents, up to fly up to Germany or something? Yeah, I
Well,
knew it. Kinda.
but
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, I don't even have to. I don't have to say it anymore. No,
You can get a direct flight from Lisbon.
direct flight to Lisbon, straight up to yeah, my girlfriend's mum who's a dentist, so she sorts out my teeth, and then bada bing, bada boom, back on. No, mate, of course, for love. For
My company's got like 4 houses around you.
oh, really?
Yeah, Carcavelos, two in Ericeira, one up in Peniche and stuff as well. If
Oh,
you
wow.
if you're going up there and you want somewhere to stay, just let me know.
Oh, fuck, I've been looking for a place. I'm in a tiny little Airbnb right now. Let me know if they got a little squalor in the backyard there. Reckon you're talking to the right person. um,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's that's the thing as well. Is like, have you realized like how kind of with Europe, like you said, like Hossegor, like you kind of joked and was like, "Oh, you're only up the road," but it kind of
yeah,
is as well. Like, have you tapped into that a bit? Because I know you travelled a bit last year, didn't you? So
yeah, yeah. It's been it feels like I've just been constantly on the road, which is crazy, and then trying to kind of make the decisions to do it all. It all just feels so fresh, even just being here. You know, we've had a bit of situation with our place, which seems to be a common theme here in Portugal with the mold. So we got completely molded out of our last apartment. So we're on the on the stepping stones to find new places and things like this. So it's all just been massive learning.
It's a wet continent. Wet.
Oh, it is very moist. Yes, indeed.
Waterproof shoes. Waterproof shoes.
I came back from the Arctic and my gummies, so it should be sweet now. But yeah, the whole decision was to do something new, do something fresh. I've been in Oz and in New Zealand for, well, pretty much just been in Oz for longer than I've been in New Zealand now. So it's like, yeah, moved years ago, and then it's like it's always going to be there. Family's there, and it was something new. And then I talked about it with Isabel, my girlfriend. And we're over here last year traveling a lot, and it was like, why don't we just try and make a move, and you just come over and test it out for a bit. So the whole idea was to just be here for the year and be closer and be able to fly out pretty easily. It's, there's a lot of places I want to check out in this part of the world and surf. So just running with it and all, and just diving into it.
It's good surf here too, huh?
There's awesome
consistently good bigger surf.
That's the thing. Yeah, like solid too, like surprisingly punchy. I was like, wow, okay, it's got some power here. It's like almost like Hawaii power. Some days out here along like the coast, it's got some heaviness to it for sure, and like the consistency of waves. I was like, wow, this is. You could surf every day if you want.
You got skunked, I think, when you were in Hossegor last time. But Matt's got your details. When it gets to October, come up. I've got a place just behind where it's really good.
Oh, awesome! I'd be super keen. Yeah, appreciate that. That'd be epic. We had one really fun day at Hossegor there though. Like the first day that we all arrived, it was like as fun as waves get. Like my first
barrel.
Yeah,
like I remember it. Yeah.
Real fun little barrels, and like it was just a stunning French, day, and I was like had a epic session with all the crew, and then come straight into a little croissant and a little espresso, and then straight into like an afternoon beer, and I was like, this is living. So I was just so hyped, and then I got thrown into the deep end of doing the Stab Highway, which just like pretty much takes the life out of you. Fun in its own sense, but sweet Mary Mother of Joseph, that's a freaking.
Hey, mate, our last on-the-spot question to you before we run out of time.
I feel like I navigated a bunch of questions out of the actual question, and I didn't. There's a few, but we can get back. We can do another one time. And anyway, continue.
Do you want to? Are you looking? Is any of your end goal doing any sort of acting?
There's a lot of things that I think about and want to do and end up not doing. So I probably should commit to a bunch of those different things, and then I'll get back to you on that one. But it's always has been a little dream of mine for sure. Yeah, to slide into some acting and probably do a bit of something with it. It's also just scary and confronting in a way, which is probably why I should do it. But my brother's actually signed up there in Bondi at the moment, so he's going to probably dive into it, and I'm going to follow him along. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Sick.
Possibly. Let's see.
Well, you're already acting in one respect anyway, but you're doing your own stuff as opposed to doing it for someone else.
That's true. My whole life is a movie, and everyone else is just extras. No. Yeah, you're right. It is hard. Like that whole sense. It's like I'm putting it into kind of like my own way, but then it sometimes feels like I like to have people that I'm bouncing off, so I find it like a bit hard. It's like I like to be around my friends or like people that you can bounce off and do it with, and then it's a bit more structure because I can just get a bit lazy with it all.
Yeah, for sure. No, 100%.
Thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
But
Thank you.
We're about to run out of time, but we'll definitely rerun one, and maybe we'll do it in 3D in Hossegor with all three of us there or something. So
that'll be real 3D land.